out there in YouTube land, my XRP army, my tribe. Hope you're all doing well tonight. I want to talk to you this evening about something one of my commenters mentioned. And his question is, what is money? Well, typically the answer is going to be something like this. That this is money. But is it really? It's from a Federal Reserve System, which is not federal and has no reserves, and it is a note. Hang on. And it says right here that this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. What is a note? You carry a note on your home, on your automobile. It's a representation of debt. Every dollar that's ever been printed, manufactured, put into a bank account is a representation of debt that is owed to the Federal Reserve System, which is a private banking institution. So is this money? According to the Constitution of the United States, only silver and gold can be money. This is silver, $1 US currency, silver 1 ounce round. Will I go and spend this for $1? No, because I think the price, what's now, is $44, $46, somewhere, it's approaching 50, all-time highs. Approaching 50, I think 50 is the all-time high. Back when the Hunt brothers tried to corner the market. Is this money? Is it money? I say it is. Okay, one of the puppies is seeing me through the windows and barking for attention. I had to close the curtains. So that is what, but that's what the Constitution says. This is what we have. This is what we use. We all think of it as money. Is it really? It's a poor store of value, that's for sure. Why? Because the government can print as many of these as they want to, and they do on a daily basis by about 430 million of them every single day, and that dilutes the purchasing power of every one that went before it. So what else? Well, the story of the printing press and money is kind of intertwined, and it's a very tempting one to governments. Let me tell you a story here. Mugabe in Zimbabwe, when he took over, he had no real business sense. So what did he do? He simply fired up the printing presses. And what did that cause? Well, Mugabe single-handedly, or with the power of the printing press, made every single person in Zimbabwe a millionaire. And then he made them billionaires. And then he went on to outdo himself and made every single person in Zimbabwe a trillionaire. All through the power of the printing press. You print dollars, and they will devalue the ones that are already out there, dilute them. So what is money? I think this is as close as we can get. Is that money? Is money a store of value? Does this have value? Is money a representation of your labor? I had to labor for these. What if this is too big to trade for something? Well, then you use one of these. Break it down. Maybe this is 25 cents and this is $1. Okay, so let me tell you another story about inflation. And I say our government will not be able to resist continuing to print even more, ever greater amounts of currency. Of these things, which is not really money, it is a currency. It is a fiat currency. There is nothing behind this. used to be, when these were bluebacks, silver certificates, for every one of these the government issued, there was one of these held in reserve. This is a lot easier to carry around than these. Ain't so anymore. So back in the late 1980s, when the Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union fell apart, I wanted to go visit the evil empire. And so I did. One of the things I did when I was there is I bought a whole bunch of Soviet Union savings bonds. And they look exactly like this, because this is one of them. I bought a stack that was about 1 inch to 1.5 inches high of these. Some of them were denoted in 50 rubles. Some were denoted, a whole bunch of them were in 25s, some were in hundreds. At the time, before the Soviet Union fell, the official exchange rate was 1.25 of these rubles per the US dollar. That didn't hold up on the black market. When I went over, the year that I went over, the Soviet Union / Russia had an official inflation rate of 2,270%. 2,270%. 1 year. What happens when that goes on? These and these and these have less and less and less and less value. They just keep adding zeros to it. What's the difference between the US government and the government of the Soviet Union? A couple of decades. We're getting to that point. My whole thing about what I'm saying to you now is that we will experience inflation and hyperinflation. Some people say we're already on hyperinflation. Not what I saw, not like what I saw in the Soviet Union. That's real hyperinflation. We are in what I consider to be high inflation, what I consider to be. The government lies about it. So what do you do? What do you do to protect yourself? Assets. Assets. Is this an asset? Yes, it is. Is it liquid? Can you dispose of it easily? Yeah, pretty easily. Is that an asset? Yeah, people have to eat. And when the price of eggs goes to $12 a dozen or more, if you're making these, you're saving yourself a whole lot of moolah, but you also have something you can sell for other things that you need. And that's what money is all about. It's a store, it's a representation of your labor. That is what money really is. It's a representation of your labor. When this represents your labor is stolen from you. Printing more and more of these is nothing less than theft in the form of inflation. It is theft. They are stealing from you because you lose purchasing power if you hold these. Every day you hold it, incrementally, and then it becomes suddenly. Yes, it does. If you want to put your faith into these kinds of things, okay. Just remember that the US government is going to make every single person in the United States a millionaire, and then it's going to make them billionaires, and then it's going to make them trillionaires. Every last one of us. So I say assets. And assets can be a whole lot of things. It could be toilet paper. Whatever you need and you have now, and you don't have to purchase when the inflation is really kicking in, you have delayed the effects of inflation upon you. Well, these will store for a long time. These are not store-bought. They have the little sticky coating on them that the hen gives them, and they'll last about 8 months just sitting on the counter. You wash that coating off and they'll only last a short while in the refrigerator. The bacteria gets in and spoils them. But I bought an extra pair of these because I think the next pair I buy will be even more expensive than the ones I just purchased. What do you need to live through your life, to make your life easy? Is it food? Is food getting expensive? Do you think it will get less expensive next week, next year, or more expensive? Well, you have to decide that for yourself. Clothes, are you going to need shoes for your kids? Buy the next size for them now. I don't know, can't tell you, but I can tell you inflation is coming. No one's going to stop it. The government cannot just shut off the printing presses. That's my take on inflation, on where we're going with that. I don't see any stopping to it. I'll probably think of a whole lot more and even better examples as soon as I turn the camera off. But I've been to a few countries around this world where inflation was real, and they greatly prefer to have these, even though this is inflationary. Why? Because it's inflating at a whole lot lower rate than these are. That doesn't mean there aren't better things out there. If you're in the United States and you're holding a whole bunch of cash in reserve under your bed for a rainy day, I would say take that and put it into commodities, something that will stop the devaluation. Is crypto, can XRP be a commodity? I think it can. I think a lot of cryptos can be commodities, particularly ones that cannot be, the number cannot be increased. That's my only problem with Ethereum, is that they can increase the supply at any time they want. And I say that with my wife having doubled her money on it since she bought it, January, something like that, maybe last December. So, can't argue with it, but can it be inflated? Yes, it can. They can just put more of it out there at will. XRP can't do that. Can't happen. Bitcoin, it can't happen. Well, Bitcoin maybe, if they get 51% of the people, the big numbers out there, they could vote to create more of it. XRP, you can't. What is money? Money is a store of value. It is a representation of your labor, and you use money to trade for things that you need. You trade this for this, a bunch more of these for a gallon of gas, and a whole bunch more to go out to dinner. That's what I got for you now. Please put down in the comments below what your thoughts are about money and the representation of your labor. And what do you think about inflation? Are we going to see inflation or not? And if we're not, what is going to stop it? Because every fiat currency system on earth, which is what this is, it's fiat, it's a representation of debt. Every single one of them on the history of the world has gone through the exact same cycle. Inflation, hyperinflation, repudiation. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you know of one that hasn't, other than Switzerland, which has about 3% inflation per year for 600 years, they're on a gold standard. They don't have a fiat currency. Show me a fiat currency system that has not gone through that cycle of inflation, hyperinflation, repudiation. There may be some that are not they're in various stages of the cycles, but show me one throughout history that has not done that. Britain's got away with it longest. I think the United States is second longest. It usually requires empire, going out and taking from other countries, making them suffer for your inflation. God bless y'all. This is getting really long. Have a good evening, and I'm out.